Hello everyone and welcome back to Global TC. We are here at the historic Nürburgring Nordschleife track for our 5th event of the season. Last time out we were in Sardinia, which was the shortest lap of the season so far. Here we have the longest, so quite the difference that a week makes here in Global TC. If you're new here, welcome, great to have you along. If you're returning or if you are a driver in the series, welcome too. I hope you enjoy today's racing action. We've got 3 races ahead of us here today, and with a winless driver on pole position in the form of Preston Brennan, and a winless driver second on the grid with Daniel Solon, we are hoping that whilst the, spoiler alert by the way, whilst the streak of different winners came to an end at the last event, with Matt Pulio being the first repeat winner, we have seen 11 different winners from the first 12 races, and who knows what else we might see as this event goes on here today. So I'm looking forward to the competition. Hopefully we'll have even more than we have so far this season. Quick other note is that this is the final event before the winter break, so I hope you enjoyed a lot because you've got a bit of a gap now before we get back to racing, although I am hoping to have a winter special event at some point in the off-season, but I can't guarantee anything just yet. That's all for the introduction. I hope you're all looking forward to this race. I certainly am. Let's get to the racing. The cars are on the grid here, all spaced out, ready for the green flag, and we are racing at the Nordschleife for the first time here today. And it's an easy jump for Brennan into the first corner here. Side by side for third place, it's Jones and Richardson. Side by side there, VW versus Mitsubishi. But just behind them, we got Ben Driscoll lining up a move on the pair of them, Andre Jamil and the Alfa Romeo, right in tow as well here as they battle over the top 3 positions, as the top 2 have got a very clean start here. Very short run to the first corner means that we don't see the often chaotic turn ones we've seen in the past. Instead, we get to see this racing through this early sector of the lap, and we see Driscoll side by side with Richardson here. Both drivers are on the soft compound tyres, but Driscoll's going to make a bold move around the outside of Richardson, and he's going to get Jones as well at the same time. Jones starting on the medium tyres here, a little bit of a cork in the bottle as they went through the first sector for the first time, but up at the front, Preston Brennan leads the race, but just behind him, right behind him, Daniel Solon on the soft tyres, and Preston Brennan has taken hard to race one. Bit of a bold call starting from pole position. Let's see how that one pays off for him here. As we've got side-by-side racing here, Jamil's trying to make the move on Richardson as well as they head up through the first few sectors of the lap. Such a long track, it's quite easy to forget where we are here as they fire their way through one of the scariest corners on the track. High-speed right-handed, steeply uphill at entry. And now a long flat out section, slowly curving to the left as they head towards the next heavy braking zone. Jamil and Richardson still absolutely side by side. The Alfa Romeo versus the Volkswagen having a very tough scrap here. As we look back to the front, Brennan is absolutely holding up Solon so much that Driscoll's going to have a go here. He's got the inside line here as they head into the next corner. Driscoll's going for the lead of the race. There's contact, massive slide. Brennan's off into the grass. He just about collects it. That's going to lose him 2 positions. Let Solon through as well, as now we can see that's Jamil getting up in at 3rd position. Brennan drops from the lead down to 4th position. That's worst case scenario for him here. One mistake like that and it all goes a bit wrong. An aggressive move from Driscoll, but he gets the lead and that's all that he cares about here, as he now is out front. But Solon piling the pressure on the Mitsubishi, has a slightly better top speed than the BMW, so keep an eye out for that as they go down one of the many long straights here of this track, is now into another one of the twisty sections of this lap. Really a lap of 2 very different parts. You have parts of this lap which are so twisty, so tricky to get your car around, and then others where you really let the engine run its full course and power as it makes its way down some of the straights here. As we look at the battling we've got all the way through the field, championship leader Adam Lee, disaster in qualifying, only 19th, and so far only 18th. This is his soft tyre race. He's going for track position early, and he is getting a bit stuck at the moment, battling with Pulio, and just behind Mills. I believe those Pulio is also on the soft tyres, although Mills is not for race 1. As we see Lee just getting stuck here at the back of the pack, not able to find his way through the field as quickly as he'd want to. And that's because the bottom 3 on the grid all took soft tyres, so they're all trying to fight their way through the field, but not having much success with it. As we see there, Tyler Davison, bit of a slide through that corner. As we look back up through the field here, up at the front it is still Driscoll, Solon, Jamil in the top three. Richardson now in fourth place ahead of Preston Brennan. Driscoll controlling this one at the moment as they make their way through this next part of the lap. Solon trying to put the pressure on as we look further on in the lap. Driscoll's been able to hold on for the most part of this first lap, but the clouds are coming in over top. Keep an eye on that one here. Solon, we said that Mitsubishi has a bit better top speed than the BMW. Can he use that here? He's charging down the longest straight on the track here. This is where we expect the overtakes to be made as we look back. Jamil in third place, running in the Alfa Romeo, trying to keep up with the top two here. As is that a little bit of spray flying? I'm not 100% sure there. It's certainly very overcast here. Rain could make a huge difference in this race as Solon is making the move for the lead. Driscoll's going to drop to second place there. Daniel Solon takes the lead for Mitsubishi. He is back out front here. Started second, got passed by Driscoll in the early stages of the race. There's a little bit of contact as they head up into the final few corners of the lap here. This is where you'd expect the BMW to perhaps be the slightly stronger of the two cars as they make their way into the final corner now. And as they make their way out of there, we can see it's Mitsubishi leading lap one here of this just two-lap race. But look at that, the windscreen wipers are going on both cars. Rain is falling here at the Nordschleife. That could be critical. The drivers that are on soft compound tyres, critically, are on slicks. The mediums and hards, as we see a massive moment for Brennan there as he's charging as he gets passed by Jones, trying to fight back there. But critically, those on the soft tyres, they are the only ones on slick tyres. The medium and hards are all weather tyres. So those that perhaps are on softer race one, that would usually be a massive strength. But in these conditions, and with how long the lap is, they're not going to have the chance to pit onto inters or wet tyres. They are stuck in this situation here. So keep an eye on that one. This could be the chance for those that took the mediums or hards in this first race to fight for this victory. And one of those drivers that it is on the medium tyre is Liam Jones, currently running in that fifth position. Kieran Kevern, another one on the medium tyres. In theory, the medium will be the best tyre in these conditions. At least even if they're not yet, the rain is continuing to fall. It's only going to get wetter and wetter, and that will help as a massive snap for Brennan. He is on the hard tyres, so he does have groove tyres, but still, they are not as quick as the medium compound. There's another massive slide there. Kevern drifting his Toyota around that corner. These are the guys that are supposed to have more grip in these conditions, and they're struggling here. Jones up in fifth place, trying to reel in the leaders now. As the rain continues to fall, this track is certainly getting very damp here. This will be an equaliser of the tyres. Critically, that's Carlo Durante making the move on Brennan. The soft tyres on his Alfa Romeo still working better than the hards on that Mercedes. Let's see how that one plays out as Brennan fighting back, or at least trying to there. As just behind them, they have Dylan Varstenberg, another driver on the medium compound tyre. So let's see, as the rain, you can see it there. Look at how heavy it is now. That is some proper rain. This is really going to be worst case scenario for those on slicks, and you can see that now. Adam Richardson is on slick tyres, and look at the pack he is causing behind him. He is holding up several cars here. You can see that's Jones, that's Kevern right up behind him as they head through this, what is usually a high-speed part of the track. They're free wide. Are they all going to get it through there? They are. But Richardson dropping like a stone there. Kevern's up into fourth place. Jones wants to get his position on. Richardson drops it to Kevern there. And Brennan now gaining some positions now after those earlier issues. As you see here, look at how slow they're having to go. There's no grip with the slick tyres. And don't forget, all of the top three in this race are on slick tyres. This could be trouble for the podium drivers at the moment. As there you see Andre Jamil going at a snail's pace through the carousel. This is a disaster for these drivers. As we look further through the field, Richardson continues to fall down the order. Durante is going to go around the outside, also on slicks, worth noting. Perhaps some cars doing a bit better in these very low grip conditions than others. Durante, of course, in the rear-wheel drive Alfa Romeo, perhaps helping him compared to the front-wheel drive of the VW. Then we have the four-wheel drive Adrian Tisci there as well. He is on the medium tyres. He should be flying along in these conditions. Pulio then behind them, another driver on slicks, so he will be having a little bit of trouble here. Sandover then behind them is on medium tyres. This is critical stuff here in this race. It really could be all or nothing for these drivers. They know if they're on using their soft to race one, this is the race they're supposed to get a result. But if they throw it off the road at high speed, it's not going to be worth it at all. So this really could spell trouble for all of these drivers. As Jamil, you can see, just absolutely blocking the road as he has given up the podium position. Kieran Kevern is up into 3rd place. Liam Jones is into 4th, as now we look behind Jamil in 5th, but look at the pressure behind from Polsiter, Preston Brennan, behind him Dylan Varstenberg in the Alfa Romeo. We saw Durante on slick tyres, not doing too badly in the Alfa Romeo, so that looks like one of the cars handling these conditions slightly better. The VW certainly isn't handling these conditions well though. Tishy's all over the back of him in the Toyota. Then we see the Ford of Pulio, Sandover having a look at the move on the American driver just ahead of him there, as we've got Fingal just behind them then. Several drivers here just with nowhere to go. The road is blocked here with how quickly this track has changed. The drivers are just trying to make moves everywhere they can, but they can't all pass everyone at the same time. They're having to take it in turns here and trying to get through cars as quickly as possible without having an incident of their own. And as we can see there, that is Richardson crawling his way through this part of the lap. Durante is getting passed by his teammate Varstenberg, as now we look back up to the front there, and that is the leaders' gap has disappeared. They are no longer clearly out front like they were before. Kevern is on the back of Driscoll. Jones is on the back of Kevern. 2 drivers on mediums behind 2 drivers on softs. Solon trying to hold on out front. Ben is slipping back here. His rear-wheel drive BMW not liking these conditions much at all. At least Solon has the 4-wheel drive Mitsubishi. That will be helping him out in these conditions just a little bit here as Kevern, you can see following so closely, there's contact. They all pile into each other, but critically Kevern's going to get alongside Driscoll and he's going to get the move done here as they make their way down through the next part of the lap. Kevern is up into 2nd place. Jones is going to follow him, and look at the difference as they go into the next corner. Solon's having to crawl his way through there, and Kevern's taken the lead of the race. Kevern is trying to become the 2nd driver this season to become a repeat winner. He is currently in the lead, but Jones passes his teammate. He's into 2nd place. He too is a winner so far this season, all the way back in the 3rd race of the season at the Red Bull Ring. He's trying to take his 2nd win of the season. As look at this pack battling it out for 3rd place. It really could be anyone in this group. Anything could happen in the battle for 3rd position in this race. Brennan, after dropping back early, is sort of holding his ground here. He's better than the soft tyre runners, but he's worse than the medium tyre runners. He's sort of balancing himself out in this pack, trying to gain a position for everyone that he loses as those on the mediums go past here. As Driscoll feeling the pressure from Varstenberg, who's alongside him there. Varstenberg on those medium tyres is going to get the move done, and now he's going to have a massive run onto this extraordinarily long straight as they head towards the final sector for the final time. This battle for the podium is going to be utter chaos. Now down the straight, critically, it looks like there's enough grip for those on the softs to just about keep it flat out, but those behind are going to know that they can brake significantly later here, as we have got a challenge for the race lead. 2 drivers who have won a race already this season are battling it out for victory in race 1 here at the Nordschleife. Jones has got a huge run as they head their way down the straight, as they prepare to go under the bridge and through this flat out kink. Even in the wet, they're banging doors, and Jones takes the lead. Kevern drops to 2nd there, leading onto the straight. Perhaps a curse rather than a blessing. Jones is the leader of the race as they head into the final few corners for the final time, as simple chaos is happening behind them. It's Jones ahead of Kevern as they head through the final few corners. Varstenberg and Sandover now up into 4th place, as look at this queue of cars as they go through the final sector, struggling to find their way through. But it's going to be Liam Jones who comes out of the final corner for the final time. Liam Jones is going to win race 1 at the Nordschleife. 2nd place to Kieran Kevern. Dylan Varstenberg's going to get his 1st podium of the season here for Alfa Romeo. Sandover takes 4th. 5th. Is it going to go to Driscoll? It is. He holds on there. Then it's Tishy, Solon, Brennan, Richardson, Asante, Fingal, Jamil, Mills, Pulio and Lewis Francis rounds out the points paying positions in what is an utterly insane race. So there we have it on race 1 results. That one was a bit crazy, wasn't it? Jones takes his 2nd win of the season, the 2nd driver to become a repeat winner this season. 2nd place goes to Kieran Kevern for Toyota. That was an incredible battle between those two, especially at the end there. Dylan Varstenberg gets his 1st podium of the season ahead of Scott Sandover. Then it's Ben Driscoll in 5th ahead of Adrian Tishy. Daniel Solon in 7th. Preston Brennan from pole to P8. Not what he would have hoped for, especially when those conditions changed. Now we see it's Adam Richardson in 9th place ahead of Albert Asante, and then Jordan Fingal in 11th place there. Andre Jamil was in the podium positions early in that race, but of course it all went a bit wrong towards the end. Jonathan Mills there in 13th place. Matt Pulio on the slick tyres had to make his way up the order, and it hasn't quite gone to plan for him, with Lewis Francis in 15th, taking the final points paying position. Then it's Carlo Durante in 16th ahead of Adam Liu in 17th, Tyler Davison in 18th, and Vishay Shah takes home 19th. And we are racing again at the Nordschleife. Jones on the pole ahead of Kevin there. And we've got a nice dry track for the start once again. Hopefully it can stay that way this time. Although I have to say, those conditions at the end made that some very exciting racing. As we see them battling their way through this first part of the lap. Solon is on the back of Brennan there as Brennan looks for the move on Tishy as they make their way through the first part of the lap. Brennan, this is his soft tyre race. After sacrificing race 1, dropped to 8th place, started this event on pole position, don't you forget, back in race 1. So in theory, he has quite the car here as Kevin running just ahead of Vastenberg. And then it's Sandover just behind him. Both of the Alfa Romeos trying to get past this Toyota early on here. Kieran Kevin is on the hards for this race. Critically though, Liam Jones out front on the soft compound tyres. So if this race stays dry, Liam Jones could be the first driver in global TC history to win multiple races within the same event, which is not something I expected to see at any point here, but he is in a position right now where he could very well do that. He's out front, and with Kevin backing up Vastenberg and Sandover just behind him, he is able to pull away out front. So this is critical for Vastenberg and Sandover both to try and get this move done as quickly as possible. Just behind them, Ben Driscoll on the hard tyres as well, with Tishy and Brennan just behind them. Then it's Solon. As we look further down the field now, we can see Jamil, Mills, Pulio, Francis, all of these drivers who didn't have the race one they wanted to have. And right at the back, championship leader Adam Liu did not score points in race 1, and that was his soft tyre race. This could well be a disaster event for the championship leader, as Vastenberg has got up into second, but has a huge moment there. He just about holds on to it. That's going to cost him some time, though. You can see he knows that a win's possible in this one. He only just got his first podium last race out. He's looking to try and take that first win now, but he's going to have a challenge from his teammate, Scott Sandover, another driver yet to win this season, trying to find his way into the battle for the lead. But at the moment, staying single file might be the best way of dealing with this for Alfa Romeo. They've got a bit of a gap to close in to Liam Jones out front, but you can see Sandover really pressuring the back of Dylan Vastenberg as they make their way through this part of the lap. You can see the Alfa Romeos looking like this track suits them better than most, but then again, we have seen this before and it hasn't always paid off for that team. As we see further down the field, we've got a battle. It's Brennan and Fingal, the BMW, trying to make his way past the Mercedes. The Mercedes critically on soft tyres, but so is Fingal in the BMW. So Brennan pressuring as hard as he can to try and get the move done on Driscoll on the hard tyres, but Fingal's going to go all the way around the outside. Can he now get the move done as they head into this next very tricky braking zone? Brennan's going to force his way down the inside of Driscoll. That makes it the outside now, and there's lots of contact, lots of wheel banging as they go through there, and it hasn't quite worked out for Ben there as he drops back just a little bit. We look back up towards Sandover, who has reeled in his teammate, and look how close he is. He's making the move for second place. Can he get it done? He's wedging his car down the inside. Vastenberg's going to hold it around the outside. That corner very banked, gives you a lot of options as you make your way out of the corner, and that looks like Vastenberg might just have the run as they head down this next straight. Sandover trying to get the slipstream though as they head into this next kink. They're side by side, not anymore. Vastenberg holds on to second for now, but Sandover's looking to the inside. He's going to go for the move all over the inside curb. That's risky. A big snap there for Sandover. He's trying to hold on to it, but Vastenberg again just getting the corner exit there from the outside line and holds on to that second position. Alfa Romeo, no team orders there at the moment, clearly. As we look further down the field, we can see that's Kevin battling away with Fingal, and just behind them you can see that's Tishy and Solon battling it out. Solon led for so long in that first race. Sadly, it wasn't to be though for him. Now having to just try and get as many points as he can in this situation. Really, after you've used your soft tyres and you haven't been able to get the result you wanted, you know that it's not going to be a high scoring event. You just want to try and damage limitation for yourself. As we see two slides there from Kevin and Fingal, you can see all of these drivers pushing hard here in these very unusual track conditions. Kevin just ahead of Fingal there. Driscoll just behind the pair of them on the hard compound tyre. Fingal going to the inside here of Kevin. Can he push Kevin out of the carousel? He can indeed. That's a bold overtake for sure there, as Fingal gets up into the top 5 positions here on the soft compound tyre. He'll be looking at an outside but not entirely impossible chance of victory here. He's now just got to get past Preston Brennan, and then he will be up into the lead group. So as we see here now, we got Solon and Driscoll. These are the two drivers that were seemingly battling out for race 1 victory until Kieran Kevern, who's just ahead of them, and Liam Jones came along. Kevern now on these hard tyres, struggling to put up a fight against Solon on the mediums. Driscoll tried just to take advantage of this. Kevern does hold on though. On this occasion, Solon not quite able to blast past the Toyota in the way he was going to hope to do so. Driscoll, meanwhile, just sort of following them at the moment and just keeping an eye on them. As we now see, Fingal is on the back of Brennan. Both of these drivers on soft compound tyres, both trying to reel in that top 3 podium group. They know that it is possible to get a podium, maybe even a win from this race. They've got a big gap to close in, but Fingal is going to go all the way around the outside. Can he get it done? He's just about going to keep his nose alongside the Mercedes as they head through onto this next part of the lap. A little bit of a curve in this straight as they now brake late. They send it in to the next corner, and Fingal is going to have the racing line because he gets his car down into the carousel. Brennan has to slot in behind us to not lose too much time on the outside. Fingal is up into 4th place here. The BMW driver is charging, and he is continuing to charge. He is reeled in Sandover here. Fingal's disappointing race 1 has meant that he doesn't have any success ballast on board that car. He is able to go a little bit quicker than these drivers here. He's reeled them in for starters, and now he's passing them. Sandover out of the groove. He loses that podium position, and that is now going to open up the door for Fingal to now have a challenge on the next Alfa Romeo of Varstenberg as they head towards the final straight for the final time here. We can see Varstenberg pressuring Jones for the victory. Fingal pressuring the pair of them, and Sandover slotting in 4th place with a long straight here. A big chance at slipstreaming. This race is not over yet here. This straight is so extraordinary in the motor racing world, at least on the traditional road course racing world. Perhaps this is more akin to something you'd see sort of at Daytona or Talladega in NASCAR. This is an unbelievable straight where slipstreaming is critical. You got to time it right. Varstenberg, he thinks now's the time to go. He's making the move as they head their way down the back straight here. Varstenberg takes the lead of the race away from Liam Jones. Can Liam Jones fight back? Can he be the first driver to do the double and win 2 races in the same event here? Varstenberg has taken the lead though. Can Jones fight back? He's looking for it, but he just can't quite find the speed there. The Alfa Romeo, it has its weaknesses as a car, but its top speed is certainly not one of them. As they head towards the final few corners for the final time, Varstenberg is in the lead of this race, and just in race 1, he took his first podium of the season. The only driver so far this season not to get a podium until today. But not only is he going to take that podium today, if he can just survive this final corner, he could well win here. As he makes his way around the final corner for the final time, the Dutchman's going to do it. Dylan Varstenberg is going to win race 2 at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Liam Jones just beaten to getting that double win there. Jordan Fingal takes 3rd place ahead of Scott Sandover. Preston Brennan, disappointing race for him there on the soft compound tyres, only able to take home P5. His incredible qualifying lap, which gave him pole position, sadly hasn't translated to race pace here. As we look behind, Daniel Solon in 6th position, just ahead of Kieran Kevern. Solon taking that position ahead of the Toyota. Adam Richardson here, not been his event so far. Took his softs in race 1. He loves this place as a racetrack, but things just haven't, luck just hasn't been on his side. Takes a P8 though. Good points for his championship challenge. Behind him it's Driscoll Asante with Adrian Tishy in 11th place there. Andre Jamil is going to come across the line in 12th, just ahead of Jonathan Mills for Honda. Matt Pulio again just finishing inside the points with 14th, and this time it's Carlo Durante who rounds out the top 15. So here we have our official results for the second race here at the Nordschleife. Dylan Varstenberg has not had the season he wanted to have so far. The last driver to get a podium in this series. But not only has he now got a podium, he now also adds himself to the list of winners. He is the 12th winner this season. Very impressive from the Dutchman as he finished ahead of Jones, Fingal completing the podium, and then it's Sandover, Brennan, Solon, Kevern and Adam Richardson rounding out the top 8. In 9th place, it was Ben Driscoll ahead of Albert Asante, with Adrian Tishy just behind him. Then it's Andre Jamil in 12th place ahead of Jonathan Mills. Matt Pulio in 14th, whilst Carlo Durante rounds out the points paying positions. Just outside of the points is Vishay Shah, not having the event he would want to have either so far here, but there's always race 3, which he does have his soft tyres for. Just behind them, it's Tyler Davison in 17th place, with Lewis Francis just behind him in 18th. The final position goes to the championship leader, Adam Liu. We're on the grid and we are racing for the final time here at the Nordschleife, and a brilliant start there for Albert Asante. He put himself on the reverse grid pole position and he's got soft tyres to use in this race. Driscoll just behind him in second after that 9th place finish in the last race. He's on his mediums for this one, so he'll perhaps be hoping for some rain, as Kevin already pressuring. Kevin saved his soft tyres for race 3. He has been consistently in the fight in these races so far and now looking to try and battle it out for a race win here, as Driscoll just holding on at the moment to that second position, but Albert Asante out front. He's the next driver looking to get his first win this season, the highest driver coming into this event in the championship without a race victory. He's looking to change that here in the final race today. Vastenberg there just inside the top 10 after winning the last one, as we see the entire points paying positions being shown to us now just outside. Durante, Francis Davison, and dead last, it's Adam Liu, yet to score in either of the races so far today, and with the medium tyres to use here, it's going to be very tricky to get his way up into the top 15 from his current situation. This is going to be a tough one for Adam Liu as an event, as a championship leader. He's probably not going to leave here as the championship leader with how close it's been, but still a long way to go in this season, and still a long way to go in this race. As we look further up the order here, we can see it's Driscoll being pressured by Kieran Kevern, putting the pressure on here. He knows he needs to get this move done early. He can't let his Toyota teammate pull too far ahead out front. Albert Asante carrying less ballast than Kevern. Kevern knows that in theory he has the slower car. He cannot let any more time be lost to his teammate as Driscoll continues to defend here as we head into this very tricky corner, and Driscoll goes for a big slide. That's going to cost him the position, and it does indeed. Kevern up into third place. Driscoll, where he took the lead back in race 1, he loses second in race 3. As we look towards the back end of the top 10, we can see that's Adrian Tisci on the back of race 1 winner Liam Jones. The Toyotas quite often putting on a show in this league, and it looks like they could well do the same here again today, as Adrian is pressuring the back of Liam Jones. Adrian trying to get this move done as quickly as possible. He is another driver on the soft compound tyres. He gets a little bit of a switch back there as they head through this next few corners. He's trying to get that move done as quickly as he can. He goes to the outside. Can he carry the momentum in the Toyota? A little bit of a slide through that corner, but really around this track everyone's sliding at every corner. Doesn't necessarily mean too much here. Tisci is up into 8th position, just ahead of Jones, and then Vastenberg with Mills trying to break his way into the top 10. A driver that came into this event equal last in the championship with Carlo Durante. He saved his soft for the final race here today. He's going to try and make some moves in this one. Just behind them, Matt Puglia currently running in 15th place, and behind them Vishay Shah also running the soft tyres for this race. As we now see Tisci putting the pressure on the cars ahead of him. He knows no time can be wasted here. Jonathan Mills with his next victim ahead of him here. The Honda not been the best of cars so far this season. Of course, he does have that win, and amusingly, the most dominant win of the season in terms of gap to second. But apart from that, it hasn't been the season he would have wanted to have, or the Honda team would have wanted to have, as they sit bottom of the team's championship as well. But he's making his way forward in this one. He gets up into 9th place past Liam Jones, and now on the back of Adrian Tisci, another driver on the soft compound tyres. As we also see just behind them Lewis Francis, another driver on the softs for race 3. We've got 6 drivers on the soft tyres for this one, so keep an eye on those drivers as they make their way through the field, or as indeed is the case for both Adrian and Albert are running up at the front. For Kieran and Albert, both running up at the front there. All these Toyotas really putting on a show in this final race here, all throughout the field. They're either leading it, they're either in second, or they're battling their way through the field at the moment. That is sadly, although not the case for Tyler Davison, one of the top drivers in the championship. Not been his event either. Much like Adam Lee, used his soft in race 1 and it hasn't gone well for him. As we see Mills trying to go around the outside there. He's going to get the move done on Tisci. Can he get it done on Sandover as well? Can he put himself with a buffer between himself and the Toyota as they head their way towards the carousel? Now Mills gets up into that 7th, getting ahead of Sandover, as that's Lewis Francis trying to use the carousel as a chance. They're free wide through the carousel. That's not happened. That's an unusual situation to find yourselves in. Sandover, bit sort of caught in the middle. Tisci trying a bold move around the outside. Sadly, didn't quite pay off. He does get the move on the Sandover because of the tyre advantage, though, but still not one for the faint-hearted there. That move there from Adrian Tisci and Scott Sandover and Lewis Francis, all 3 of them in a very risky spot as Albert Asante continues to lead here. As we see Preston Brennan, he is now holding up a little train of his own. He's got Mills and Francis right behind the Subaru, a winner last time out here at Sardinia, winning race 1 there. He's looking to try and take victory here today. It looks unlikely to happen in race 3. Down in 9th position, battling with 2 other drivers on soft tyres at the moment, trying to get this move done as Preston Brennan is holding up the pack a little bit, and Francis with a big send moves Brennan out of the way. He's going to get up into 6th position there. That could be crucial, because even if the win is out of reach there with the 2 Toyotas so far out front, there is still a good fight here for the podium positions with this group of cars. The soft runners trying to reel in those on the medium and hard tyres, trying to make moves up the order here. As we already mentioned, Driscoll currently running 3rd on the medium tyres. He is the one with a target on his back at this stage of the race here, as Vishay Shah meanwhile in 15th place, trying to make his way through the order. He's on the back of Andre Jamil. Vishay Shah, another one of the drivers on soft tyres for this race, as we see Lewis Francis looking for another move there. The bright orange Subaru, hard to miss it as he pressures the VW just ahead. He's trying to make a move here, but he also needs to keep an eye on his mirrors, because Mills is not giving up this fight anytime soon. And these 2 drivers look set to battle throughout this race, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Toyota of Tichy gets involved as well, although he is still stuck behind the Mercedes of Brennan here, as we see Francis really putting the pressure on as they head through the final sector of, well, not the final sector, but the final few sectors of the lap, of course. If the track was split into thirds, it probably would be the final sector, but of course, the Nordschleife being so long is split into many, many sectors. As we see Francis still pressuring, he just can't quite get the move done just yet. He knows the VW, the problem is quick on the straight. He gets to the inside here. Can he get the move done? He looks like he's going to get it done. Just on exit, he clears the VW, and that's critical there, because the VW is a rocket ship in those straights, or at least it used to be at the start of the season. Now Mills is going to have to come against that speed. Crucially, this corner before the straight, it is a very, very tyre-dependent corner. The car has got to be on the limit of grip. So if you have a bad exit, maybe that will help the drivers with perhaps less good top speed to get themselves to fight a VW, which does have such good top speed. But again, this straight is so incredibly long. Mills, I don't know if it's going to be possible for him to fight here as they head down this straight. He's got the slipstream, he's got the grip, but crucially, Adam Richardson has got the top speed. As we look further up the road here, we've got a battle for the podium positions. That's Daniel Solon trying to pass Ben Driscoll for that 3rd position. Solon is on the hard tyres, but behind them both on the softs, we have Lewis Francis. Solon's going to get the inside line there. Can he make this move here? This is the corner where his teammate took the win for race 1, and Solon takes the podium in race 3 at this stage in time, but just behind the pair of them, they have a very hard charging Lewis Francis on the soft compound tyres in that Subaru. He's going to look for a move here into the final few corners of the lap. He's got the inside line. Can he pull it off? Looks like he might just get it done. Now that's going to be the outside through the next corner, and then the inside for the final corner. Lewis Francis up into 4th place. 1 car now between him and the podium positions. As we look a bit further down the order, we've got a problem there. Adrian Tichy, Toyota's hard charge there through the field, has had to come into the pit lane. It's a problem for the Canadian. He is in trouble in this one, and that being a soft tyre race is very bad news for him. We'll have to have a look in a moment about what has happened to him, but back on the racetrack we can see Lewis Francis has got up into the podium positions ahead of Daniel Solon. Ben Driscoll dropping down to 5th there behind them. Jonathan Mills still stuck behind the VW of Adam Richardson. Let's go and have a look at what happened to Adrian. As we see, this was much earlier on in the race here. He's behind the Alfa Romeo of Scott Sandover. Adrian on these soft tyres. He's pressuring the Alfa Romeo just ahead of him here as they head into this next corner. What's he going to do? He's going to look at the move, but he's not going to pull out far enough. He's going to think about the move. He brakes too late. He goes into the back of the Alfa Romeo, and that's where he will have picked up some damage. Troublesome day for Adrian Tichy there. Not what he would have wanted in this final race. As we meanwhile we see Mills, can he finally get this move done? Front wheel drive versus front wheel drive here. Honda versus VW. Both of these drivers, their only driver in their manufacturer. They know they have to work for themselves in this series, and Mills gets the work done there, up into 6th position. With 2 drivers between him and Lewis Francis, which really is going to be the battle for the podium here towards the end of this one. Solon just ahead of Driscoll. Solon critically, as we said, on those hard compound tyres. Driscoll trying to make a move here. We've seen Driscoll be quite the entertainer into this corner here. Mills trying to be the one that makes moves, though, as they both go wide. Is Mills going to make a double overtake? He is. He's up into 4th place, and they couldn't have got out of the way much better than that. That is almost lapped car stuff there from the pair of them. Solon went so wide, Driscoll went a bit wide, Mills got the pair of them. That is amusing stuff to see, and that just shows you what level of grip these drivers are dealing with, especially those on the medium and hard tyres. You just can't always get the car stopped. You have to brake late. You have to push it to try and hold on to position. This track is a long one. You always have to defend through some of these corners. And, well, you see that's what happens when you drive like that, as we now see Richardson trying to make a move on Driscoll. Richardson in the VW trying to get this one done. He's going to look to the inside now. Can he get the move pulled off? Driscoll is going to leave him room there. Leaves a very wide line there for Richardson to take. And critically though, Richardson isn't quite able to take the position just yet, although he is pressuring the back of Ben Driscoll there. Driscoll in 6th place. As we look further down the field, Vishay Shah started right at the back of this one. On soft tyres though, has been slowly creeping his way up through the order now, up into 8th place. Sees himself with a potential chance for a top 6 result, maybe even a top 5 here. He makes the move down the inside, and he is up into 7th position, clears Richardson there nice and easily, and that may well hurt Richardson's challenge of Driscoll as well in this race. Vishay Shah up into 7th here, as he now pressures the back of Ben Driscoll. He is moving his way up the order quite quickly now. Took him a while to get up into the top 10, but now that he's there, he is moving quickly and quicker he does it, as we see side-by-side racing. Driscoll and Shah through those very high-speed S's. Shah down the inside, uses his tyres, has a massive moment over the curb there. Maybe a bit too much curb there for the Mercedes driver, but he holds on and takes 6th position. Next up on the road, Daniel Solon there, as we can see this group of cars battling their way through the lap here. Half a lap to go here, but really a quarter of the race still to go because of the length of this track. Shah pressuring for P5. We haven't seen necessarily the true pace of the Mercedes here today. Brennan's had his issues, and Shah as well has had his fair share of issues as well. Not been their day so far. It'll be interesting. Does that Mercedes have the pace to pull away from Solon if he can get clear? Can he reel in the top 4? We've seen the Honda hasn't always had the best race pace, so it's going to be an interesting battle between those two towards the end of this race. The gap is quite big though, so I'd be surprised if we see any changes of positions in the battle for 4th, but nonetheless, it's worth keeping an eye on here as Shah needs to get this move done first though. Needs to get himself up into 5th place before he can think about anything higher than that. He's really all over the back of the Mitsubishi, trying to get a move done as soon as he possibly can. Just can't seem to find a way past that surprisingly wide Japanese car just heading there, driven by Daniel Solon, who is having a pretty solid event for himself so far here today, despite the race 1 bad luck with the rain. But we look back to the front now, and it's Albert Asante who's going to head through the final few corners for the final time now. He has been one of the most consistent drivers so far this season, despite on average being the worst qualifier. He has kept himself at the top end of the championship, and today he's going to take his first win of the season. Albert Asante, unlucky for some, not unlucky for him. Race winner number 13, Asante wins at the Nordschleife ahead of Kieran Kevern. Yet another Toyota 1-2 here today. We've said that quite a few times over this season so far, as we see Lewis Francis going to complete the podium there for Subaru, as just behind them we can see Jonathan Mills there, pressure being felt there, perhaps some tyre issues for him as he comes across the line in 4th place ahead of Daniel Solon 5th. Vishay Shah just holds on to 6th ahead of Ben Driscoll. Then we have Adam Richardson coming across the line in 8th, and he looks set to take some solid points for VW ahead of Sandover. Vostenberg, Jamil, Brennan there, the pole sitter for race 1 ahead of Jones, the winner of race 1. Durante in 14th, and once again towards the back end of the points paying positions we have Matt Pulio. He takes 15th here today. Here we have the official results for race 3 here at the Nordschleife. Albert Asante taking his first win of the season, winner number 13, ahead of Kieran Kevern, his teammate. Lewis Francis rounding out the podium there after a strong run of results for him. Jonathan Mills takes 4th place, just ahead of Daniel Solon, who surprisingly held on there and on hard tyres in race 3 to a very strong result, just ahead of Vishay Shah, and then Ben Driscoll in 7th place. Adam Richardson, one of the top guys in the championship so far this season, looks like he may well be able to outscore his rivals today, with many of them having problems. Just outside the top 8 we have Scott Sandover in 9th ahead of Dylan Vostenberg, the winner of race 2. Then it's Andre Jamil in 11th ahead of Preston Brennan in 12th. Then we have Liam Jones and Carlo Durante, with Matt Pulio rounding out the points paying positions there. Adrian Tishy with that drama, that pit stop for his soft tyre race, coming home just outside the points in 16th. Jordan Fingal in 17th place there. Tyler Davison coming home in 18th, and it's a pointless event for our championship leader Adam Liu. That's not what you want to see if you're a fan of him or Renault. So that's it for the Nordschleife, and that's it for 2024. quite possibly, although not guaranteed, we may have some winter events to give you in the off-season for both our series, of course, this Global TC and our other series, NASCAR GT. We'll also be using the winter break as a chance to reevaluate the balanced performance, try and improve that as well. We've had a very balanced season so far, as we've seen 13 different winners from 14 races, but of course we always believe that we can improve it just a little bit more, so that's what we'll be trying to do during the off-season. But yes, thank you all for your time this season, for those that are watching it as a viewer, for those that are taking part in it as a driver. I do truly appreciate it. I hope you have all enjoyed the season so far. It's been an absolute blast to be making and commentating for you. So thank you again very much for watching. That's it for us. I'll see you all next time.